Welcome to If Then Friday, where we and my co host, if she sticks around, will bring you my top 20 June new releases. Where you going? Where you going? I thought you were going to hang with me. You said, Mommy, I'll stay with you the whole video. Uh huh. Oh, and for the 100th time, I told myself that when I print these out, I need to print these in larger font so I can read them. What do? It's size 3 font. Anyways, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina Tina. This is where I read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music going on here. And a special a special shout out to my gal pals here and my number one critic over here. Selena and Z Book and Leaf Sonata and Judy, my gal pals. All right. You ready? You ready for the June new releases? What do you think? All right. First one. I lost my pen. A Novel Murder by E.C. Nevin. I guess we'll have to put it over here. Put it over here. In the quaint English town of Hasliwit, the biggest names in crime writing have congregated to celebrate all things bookish and murderous. Author Jane Hepburn is determined to make her time at Killer Lines festival worthwhile. This is her chance to change her fortune and make her fictional private detective Baker a household name. And if she has to resort to sneaking into the book tent after hours to rearrange some books so hers are front and center, so be it. Ah, my nose. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. But when Jane encounters the dead body of a renowned and revered literary agent, Carrie Marks, the festival takes on a decidedly different tone. Joined by Carrie's newest client, debut novelist Natisha Martez, and the agency's hapless intern, Daniel Thurston, Jane decides to put her fictional sleuthing skills to use in the real world. She's going to have to solve the murder, but the list of suspects is long. Seemingly everyone at the festival has a motive to kill Carrie, and the more Jane and her new friend investigate, the closer they come to dangerous truth. So what do you think? Hello. Eliza and the Duke, Harper St. George. All hopeless romantic Eliza Dove asked for was one night of adventure, one glorious evening of freedom to explore the dark corners of London with a mysterious stranger before she enters into a convenient marriage. And she meets with Simon Cowell, and he gives her a night to remember, and maybe something else. Thus, with a kiss, I die. Christina Dodd. God, we were reading Christina Dodd for a long time. I have a whole bunch of her books over there. See, thus with a kiss I die, daughter of Montague. Woe, for I am the bug that meets the windshield might, no longer speeding glass smooth, clean, and bright. You're right, I, Rosie Montague Verona, am a lousy empiric pentameter and Shakespeare speak, but you get the point. Sometimes you're the windshield and sometimes you're the bug. I, who for my whole life have cruised along unruffled by life trials, am suddenly smashed flat and speeding recklessly upon the what the hell happened highway. What do you think? I'm 20 years old and by my own design never wed, free as no married woman ever is. I am beautiful but without conceit, for Juliet, my legendary mama, is the most gorgeous creature to ever walk the earth. Just ask Romeo, my legendary papa. Rumors of their death were premature. I was heart whole until I fell literally in love with Lysander of the House of Beautiful. But our love was not to be, for I was thwarted by Aeschylus, Prince of Verona, who had designs on me. Not a clue. Maybe we'll move that one down the list a little. ABBA! Dancing Queen! I grew up with these people. Oh, good God. Makes me feel old. And Cher just recently did a lot of their hits, but the story of ABBA, Melancholy Undercover. There has never been a group like ABBA. More than half a century after their songs were recorded, ABBA still make people in the world dance and sing their hearts out. In 2013, when the band had been interviewed over 30 years, Jane Goffert was granted unique access to them for the next decade, and the result is the story of ABBA, Melancholy Undercover. See what happens there. The Witch Roads, Jane Elliott. When an arrogant prince and his equally arrogant entourage get stuck in Orland Halt as part of a brutal political intrigue, competent and sunny Deputy Courier Ellen once... Wait a minute. Once a child slave meant to shield noblemen from the poisonous Paul is assigned to guide them through the hills to reach his destination. You know, you have to look at this cover. For a split second, I thought, is it Disney World Castle someplace? But when you look closer, it gets really darker and it gets really not so pretty. When she warns him not to enter the haunted spies, the prince doesn't heed her advice, and the man who emerges from the towers isn't the same one who entered. Them Bones, David Housewright. A Mackenzie novel. There are two things that Rushmore Mackenzie hates to turn down: a request from a friend and a challenge. Both of them show up in his wife's nightclub in person of Angela Bajork, who has come to request Mackenzie's help. Mackenzie, once a homicide detective, now through a series of unlikely events is a retired millionaire. But occasionally for friends, he'll do some unofficial private detective work. Over the years, he's hunted down a stolen Stradivarius, a horde of 1930 gangsters, and recovered stolen, apparently cursed artifact. But Mackenzie never imagined a case like this, an exceedingly rare dinosaur skull. Interesting. Finders Keepers, Sarah Adler. Last week, Nina Honeycutt was a professor about to move into a gorgeous new apartment with her long-term boyfriend. Now she's single, unemployed, and living with her parents. Even more surprising is the fact that Quentin Bell, her childhood neighbor and okay, fine crush, is also back in town and wants to resume the treasure hunt that ended their friendship 2 decades ago. See, it's good to have... And I was thinking about this with Emily Henry. I think it was Book Lovers, where if she had looking for a lost manuscript, trying to find a hidden room, it didn't have to be a murder mystery, but it could have been looking for a lost ring, or looking for a lost document, or looking for a lost manuscript, some little mystery. That book would have been really good. You agree with me? You agree? You think so? I did a review on the Emily Henry book for this channel, so you can check that out. I only read like the first 11 chapters, so it was really good. But I just needed that extra. Did you need that extra too? Yeah, you needed that extra too. That extra hunt, that extra mystery. All right, we're gonna be doing this guy in a couple of months. You'll see him on the channel. I'm gonna go through all of his books. I'm trying to collect them all. Having the first 10 are really hard to get a hold of, so I'm trying to get a hold of those. And I read this. I read the first few way back when, and I got pissed off, and I gave all the books away. And now I'm like, oh shit, I need these books back. I want to do them for the channel. So we'll be doing Mr. Stuart Woods, although he has a ghostwriter now, but he did write the first 60 plus himself. So this is Stuart Wood, Find Your Keepers. I'm looking to see what happened to Barrington after I left him. So we'll start at the beginning. We'll start with New York Dead and work our way through. After attending an Arrington Properties meeting at the group's newest location, the Vineyard Arrington on Martha's Vineyard, Stone Barrington returns to New York City to catch up with his old friend Jack Colton. Over lunch, Jack requests Stone's help in setting his niece Sarah into city life post-divorce. Always when to please, Stone takes Sarah under his wing. But when various men from Sarah's past start getting hurt and Jack's loved ones find themselves a target in a deadly scheme, it's up to Stone to put the pieces together. Is he still single? 60 books and he's still single? Oh, good Lord. I called him an SLUT back at book 10. Ah! We may have to rethink this. No, I'm gonna do it. The Death Mask, Eve Duncan. This is another author that I should do. World-renowned forensic sculptor Eve Duncan's skills frequently make her a target, and in this adventure they make her the first choice to create an Egyptian death mask for a nefarious potential client. But Eve cannot be bought, not for all the riches in the gold mine. He would be her employer soon realizes that he must threaten the lives of those he so dear to get her to do stuff. Not nice. Not nice. That is not nice. Lisa Jackson, another one from them. These people appear in Flashback Monday. These are the authors that have been around for a really long time. So Flashback Monday is where they started. You should check them out. It Happened on a Lake. Lisa Jackson. The huge Victorian house on Twilight belongs to Harper Reed Prescott, as does the private island on which it sits. Harper wants little to do with either. 20 years ago, Harper's grandmother died suspiciously while in her care. On the same night that Harper's boyfriend disappeared, his body was never found and no charges were filed, but the rumors haven't faded. There have been other deaths, other accidents, always revolving around Harper and her family. Another lady that we've been seeing quite a bit of in Flashback Monday, Mercedes Lackey. Graffon's Valor. Set, with on the border between Valdemar and deadly Pelagius Forest, the Gryphon hero Kelvin returns from a near-fatal self-sacrifice that won him the approval of Valdemar's group troops but caused a diplomatic crisis. Murder Takes a Vacation. We should use these for Flashback Monday. Where I think, did I do it already? No, I did beach. I did beach stuff. Going to the beach. That's it. If then's Going to the Beach, Cozy Mysteries. Murder Takes a Vacation. A riveting mystery of deception, art theft, and unexpected romance on a Persian cruise. Laura Lippman. Miss Blossom has a knack for blending into the background, which is an asset during her days assisting private investigator Tess Mohan. But when she finds a winning lottery ticket in a parking lot, everything changes. She's determined to see the world that she sometimes feels is passing her by. When Miss Blossom booked her cruise through France on the MS Solitaire, she did not expect to meet Alan on her transatlantic flight. He is the first man who sparked something inside her since her husband passed. She also didn't expect Alan to be found dead 24 hours later in Paris, a city he wasn't supposed to be in. Now Miss Blossom doesn't know who to trust on board the ship, especially when a mysterious man, Danny, keeps popping up around every corner. Also present when things go away. He is convinced that Alan was transporting stolen piece of art, and Miss Blossom knows more than she lets on. Does she? Doesn't she? An Enemy in the Village, a Bruno Chief novel. Martin Walker. When Bruno stumbles upon a motionless figure in a car parked at a scenic overpass on the ridge of Vessier Valley, he is ready to investigate inside. He finds a suicide note and the dead body of Monique, a successful businesswoman who rented the chateau to wealthy expats. It seems like an open and shut case, but Bruno can't shake the suspicion that something sinister lurks underneath this tidy narrative after he delivers Montique's final message to those important to her. Malicious gossip about Bruno begins to spread through the village. One thing leads to another, and soon Bruno faces pressure to resign from the job. Despite the disturbing turn of events, Bruno remains Bruno, never one to turn down a fine meal with good company in the French countryside. In the course of inquiry, he meets Laura and her dog, which happens to be the same breed as his beloved Basset Hound. As sparks fly and Bruno realizes just how much he has at stake, he races to find out what really happened to Monique, and maybe he'll gain a love lady and a doggy at the same time. White Crow, Mitchell Rowbottom. Philomena McCarthy has defied the odds to become a young officer with the Metropolitan Police despite her father and uncles being notorious gangsters. On patrol one night, Philomena finds a barefoot child covered in blood who says she can't wake her mother. Meanwhile, 3 miles away, a London jeweler has a bomb strapped to his chest in the ransacked store, and millions are missing. These two events collide, and Philomena's career, her new marriage, and her new life in Deep are falling apart. I've been trying to do her, and I just can't. I'm gonna try. I've tried. She has a couple different series, and I'm gonna try. I've been trying. I walk by this woman, her books every day, and I'm like, I keep picking them up. I keep putting them down. I keep putting them up. I keep putting them down. I'm gonna try and do these at some point. Um, One final turn, an Electra McDonald novel, Ashley Weaver. Ella McDonald is about to embark on her most perilous mission, go to Lisbon, Portugal, to save her beloved cousin Toby, who has reportedly escaped from a German prisoner of war camp. Toby has been missing since the Battle of Dunkirk, and Ellie had all but lost hope in ever seeing him again until Major Ramsey, the British military intelligence officer she has been working closely with over the past 5 months, shares the news he incepted. Last Dance Before Dawn, Catherine Shellman. We've also been doing her other series. I haven't gotten into this one yet, but we've been doing Catherine Shellman's other Gilded Age series. Vivian Kelly has finally created a home and family at a glorious speakeasy known as Nightingale, where no one cares who you are in the daytime. After all, the underground world of 1920s New York City, everyone has a secret to keep, and they're on Nightingale's dance floor to leave those secrets behind. But sometimes it takes more than a dance to escape your past. When a stranger from Chicago shows up at the Nightingale looking to settle all scores, Vivian and the Nightingale's owner, the mysterious and alluring Honor Huxley, send him packing. They soon discover, though, that the stranger was just a warning. Slowly, the people who made the Nightingale their home realize that someone is following them, hunting them. I got an itch. That someone won't stop until they unravel a mystery that's been cold for years. A missing girl, a boy out for revenge, and a truck full of cash. Oh, he's good. Jill Chavez, our second chance lady. She's in Romantic Time Book Review all the time. The Love Fix, a heartwarming novel of reconciliation, forgiveness, and unlikely love in the midst of family secrets. Lexi Clark's life is falling apart around her, so when she's summoned home to Sunrise Cove, the last thing she wants to do is face all the complications she left behind. Her past, her stepsister Ashley, and especially her infuriating, gorgeous childhood numbness crush, Heath Bowman. Yep, Lexi's pretty sure being home again just might kill her. She's an overachieving art appraiser who doesn't believe in trust, love, or happily ever after. Free Spirit Ashley, on the other hand, is so full of life it hurts to look at her, but Alexi can't refuse Ashley's plea to honor their late mother's final wish to make amends with the people she'd wronged. She should do it. The man who writes faster than anybody in the history of the world. You know, I think that he gets people to write books, and then maybe he edits them or something. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I could be 1,000% wrong. But I think he has so-and-so write the book. He puts his name on it, after editing or reading it or going through it, to help promote the person, to help them get started in the industry so they can take over on their own. And this is the second or third book with Bill Clinton. But here we go. The First Gentleman. Clinton and Patterson are back, and they're better than ever. The President of the United States is up for re-election. Her husband is on trial for murder. Is the First Gentleman a killer? A brilliant pair of investigative journalists set out to answer the burning questions about the NFL star turned political spouse. See what happens. Our final two. Knave of Diamonds. Laurie R. King. When Mary Russell was a child, she adored the black sheep Uncle Jake, but she hasn't heard from him in many years, and she assumed that her ne'er-do-well ways had brought him to a bad end somewhere, until he presents himself at her Sussex door. Yes, Jack is back with a load of problems for his clever niece, not the least of which is the reason the family rejected him in the first place. He was involved somehow in the infamous disappearance of the Irish crown jewels and an impregnable safe in Dublin Castle. John Hancock, first you sign, first you invest America's independence. A contemporary of Samuel Adams, John Adams, George Washington, and the Marquis de Lafayette, Hancock had a list of contacts that read like who's who of the American Revolution. But shockingly little has been written about Hancock himself. John Hancock tells the story of a man who deserves more credit for his contribution to American Revolution than he previously received. An award-winning scholar, Winter Stern Randall, is determined to give him his due at last. Born into relatively modest means, Hancock was sent to live with his wealthy uncle and an aunt as a child. The couple raised him as their own and prepared him to take over the family company. A remarkably successful businessman, Hancock got involved in politics in the 1760s. He quickly rose in ranks, continually serving the president of the Continental Congress, and was the first governor of Massachusetts. The book details all of the major events in the Revolution, from the Boston Tea Party to the battles of Lexington and Concord. To the signing of the Declaration, Hancock's actions fundamentally altered each of these events and ultimately the course of the United States in ways never taught in the history books. So what do you think? Was that a good top 20? Did you like anything? Did you see anything you're looking forward to? We'll see what happens. We'll see what shows up on this channel. And I guess I put my gal pal to sleep here. What can you do? Have a happy Friday. Have a good one.